this is actually the best time to start declaring your income, because you can also deduct a lot of expenses. And when you do it part-time, and especially in the beginning of any kind of business, you potentially have a net loss for the first year in any business. But what will happen when you earn a salary and you have let's say a loss in your business, then you can deduct that loss from your salary, and you can potentially receive an income tax refund at the end of the year. The moment you start earning a business income, you need to declare that to SARS. So there's no minimum amount that you, as being a business builder, or running a business, there's no minimum amount that you need to declare it. There is a minimum amount that you will pay before you pay tax, and that when you start running a business, you need to keep records of all your various expenses. And that's mainly in the form of your bank statements, your credit card statements, but also obviously your slips that you need to keep. Go back one step towards tax reviews and tax audits, and just explain the difference. And also you will understand why I'm explaining that, because I will, with each expense, I'll actually tell you exactly what you need to keep for that specific expense. One income, more than 80% of your income from one person or one company, in your own personal capacity, you can deduct all your expenses. You're seen as an independent contractor, and you can deduct all your various expenses, as we explained just now. When you form a company, and your company receives more than 80% of its income from one source, in this case Manatech, it's seen as a personal service provider, or PSP in short, and the company's been seen as an employee. And the moment the company's been seen as an employee, you can't deduct any expenses in the company. And the only way to overcome that is to employ 3 non-connected parties, non-connected employees in that company. Thank you for watching. Just a quick reminder to grab your gift pack for entrepreneurs in the link below. It's a gift pack for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand, free of charge. All you need to do is activate it. Part of that gift pack for entrepreneurs is a voucher of 3 months for 3 months free accounting services from a company, Dryk Holdings. All you need to do is activate the gift pack voucher in the link below, and we will be in contact with you as soon as you've done that. Thank you for watching, and back to the interview.
Yes, so would you guys like to tell us where you're tuning in from? I see the guys are jumping on Jasper, so we're going to have a very exciting night tonight. We've got an expert in the house. We'll tell you all about it just now. So let us know if you guys can see us fine. We're using the Zoom platform, broadcasting it onto Facebook Live. And like you know, there's always a technical challenge for people who are not so technically inclined like me. Jasper said we're going to teach him straight after this how to do it as well. So hopefully we can do this again. But yeah, Jasper, we want to welcome you onto the Dream Team. I see there's loads of people jumping on, and it's very exciting to have you here with us tonight. Jasper knows us now, Quentin and myself, for the last, I think it's 2 years, or is it longer, Jasper?
No, I think about 2 to 3 years, yes.
Yes, and I can tell you, Quentin always jokes and tells me that I've got a piling system. I don't have a filing system. So if Jasper can manage sorting out the piling system and making things work, and putting 1 and 2 together and making everything, I want to say, legit and solid, Jasper, we just appreciate you in our lives, because that's one gifting I really don't have. I am not good with accounting, and we're so grateful for you in our lives. But Jasper, please tell us a little bit more about yourself. I know you were very enthusiastic about martial arts in your younger days, and you have a family, and you love horses as well. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, like I said, I'm Jasper Basson. I'm the founder of Dryk Holdings since 2006. I'll tell you a bit more about that story in a moment. And we currently live since 2008. We live in Vlakte in the northern suburbs of Cape Town. I'm married with and married and with two kids, 10 and about 7. And yeah, like I said, I'm founder of Dryk Holdings. I'm also founder of a company called Lead Optimizers since about 6 years ago. And I'm running a YouTube channel, Jasper Basson Accounting, Tax and Habits. And that's exactly what it is, accounting, tax and habits. So you can follow that as well. And then, yeah, I'll let Maria, you disappeared a bit now, but I think I can just, to back that my story a bit more and to link it to Manatech as well. I started my journey of having my own practice in 2006, but before that, I actually worked for one of your Manatech associates as well in Paul. At that stage, also had an accounting practice, Francois van Skalkwijk. So I was actually the manager of that accounting practice. And then at some stage, he sold his practice, and I also moved over to starting my own practice in 2006. So that's more or less when my story started with Manatech as well, coming to know the products, and also assisting Francois at that stage a lot with Manatech clients and network marketing clients. So since then, I started doing the books for Francois van Skalkwijk as well. That's still in Manatech, and from there, obviously, started assisting a number of the presidentials of Manatech as well. So that's more or less where I started my journey, and knowing a lot of Manatech associates and presidentials, and starting doing a lot of books for them. I think, yeah, since 2006, basically started for a number of them, and then 2008, quite a huge amount of the presidentials that I started assisting.
Thank you for watching. Just a quick reminder to grab your gift pack for entrepreneurs in the link below. It's a gift pack for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand, free of charge. All you need to do is activate it. Part of that gift pack for entrepreneurs is a voucher of 3 months for 3 months free accounting services from a company, Dryk Holdings. All you need to do is activate the gift pack voucher in the link below, and we will in contact with you as soon as you've done that. Thank you for watching, and back to the interview.
Yes, I think, Jasper, that's why we felt so comfortable, you know, because you weren't just somebody who knows about books. You were somebody who were really, really tuned in, educated. You had a number of years experience in the Manatech field. And I mean, this is a little bit different than all the other network marketing companies. And, you know, a lot of people want to, you know, they have loads of questions about part-time and full-time and, you know, bank accounts. Do you use a different one? Do you use the same one? I know you have loads of expertise. So would you like to share a little bit about your experience and what you find works best?
Yeah, we can start there. I also wanted to dive a bit deeper into some of the expenses as well, specifically to Manatech and what exactly you need. But we can go to that portion of the question as well. Decide on, obviously the most Manatech associates start on a part-time basis, so they potentially work for a salary and then have a part-time business together with that salary, and running that up to the point that they can actually resign from their full-time job and then have a full-time journey with Manatech. So, and a lot of what I found was a lot of the part-time associates are a bit scared to start doing their tax and declaring their tax, and they're also not sure when to do that. So, yeah. But I think very important for any person that really started, let's say this is your first year in Manatech right now, this is actually the best time to start declaring your income, because you can also deduct a lot of expenses. And when you do it part-time, and especially in the beginning of any kind of business, you potentially have a net loss for the first year to in any business. But what will happen when you earn a salary and you have let's say a loss in your business, then you can deduct that loss from your salary, and you can potentially receive an income tax refund at the end of the year, because you pay this, you receive the salary, you pay as you earn on this side, you deduct your net loss on this side from that side, and because there's a loss, your income is actually less in total for the year, and you can actually get a refund from there. And then as you grow your business, you will obviously start potentially paying tax between your salary and your business, and later on only in your full-time Manatech business you will potentially start paying tax. Paying tax is inevitable. The aim is obviously to get it as low as possible.
Yeah, no, Jasper, you jumped in quite late, because we were very I think we were very our book holding or our accounting practices in this house was a little bit too late, and you jumped in at quite a late stage. I remember, you sort of came in halfway in the game, and you even helped us to sort out stuff going back months and months and months ago. So, I mean, for the viewers that maybe are in a situation where, you don't know what you're doing right at this stage, or you don't know if you're getting the right help, we can really vouch that Jasper helped us so nicely and helped us to sort out the things and get everything up to date. So, obviously, Jasper, where do you start? On what amount do you start paying tax, and on what amount do you start paying the VAT? Because I know Jasper had to explain that to me like, I think 100 times.
Okay, so first of all, the moment you start earning a business income, you need to declare that to SARS. So there's no minimum amount that you, as being a business builder, running a business, there's no minimum amount that you need to declare it. There is a minimum amount that you will pay before you pay tax, and currently it's almost 80,000 rand before net profit before you start paying tax. But again, most people will start a business with a lower income from Manatech, but at this stage having a full-time income. And you have to declare it from the start, because the moment you start receiving secondary income in a business form, you need to declare that to SARS. But the great thing, and I found that a lot of people are afraid to actually declare it, but they don't have to be afraid, because the first year, mostly, obviously it differs from person to person, and from every person's expenses are different, but in most cases you will have a loss in your first year or two, and you can deduct that from your salary. So if you're a year or two behind, or even 3 years behind, rather speak to me, and let's do the calculation, draw up the financials, and get the correct calculation for you, and we can discuss it from there, and then we can obviously discuss the way forward from there as well.
And I know, Jasper, our upline, Dryk, he's also one of your clients as well, but he always says, this is such a nice business to be in, because at least at the 15th of every month you have money coming in. At least you have an income coming in. And but Jasper, coming back to I'm jumping around a little bit, but coming to, you keep on referring to last year, or what would contribute to make a loss? What are the deductible expenses in our business that's actually acceptable to deduct on Manatech business?
You were very your line was very bad now. Can you just repeat that for me, please?
I'm sorry, Jasper. What are the expenses that we are allowed to deduct on a Manatech business? Because you keep on referring that you might make a loss in your first year. So what are the expenses that we can deduct?
Okay. I will do a combined answer for you. I first want to advise everyone, obviously, that when you start running a business, you need to keep records of all your various expenses. And that's mainly in the form of your bank statements, your credit card statements, but also obviously your slips that you need to keep. And that's something, and that's why I want to just go back one step towards tax reviews and tax audits, and just explain the difference. And also you will understand why I'm explaining that, because I will, with each expense, I'll actually tell you exactly what you need to keep for that specific expense. So just before we go to the expenses, when you get a SARS audit as any business owner, you initially get a review where you actually just upload your financial statements, just the basic information. And then from there, SARS potentially can opt into doing a tax audit. So initially, you know, sometimes I actually told you will have a SARS audit and it will take about 21 working days, etc. That's actually not the audit, it's actually a review. And from there, they will pick some expenses and they will do an audit on specific expenses. And I will explain in a moment what they tend to look for in that specific expenses. So I think that's very important to understand. And also, especially for if there's anybody listening here currently that haven't declared any of your managed income, SARS are at this stage audit wise, and even out of the audit spectrum, they are so linked into all your affairs that they can actually track your bank account. They can see what money is going in and out. So I know there's still a lot of people that believe SARS can't see what's happening in your bank statement if you have a secondary bank account that nobody knows about. In brackets, SARS do know about it, and they found ways to actually track that. And I've seen it in audits as well. They give you separate bank accounts that you didn't even know about, and they give you transactions on that bank account. So it's very important, if you do receive an income, start declaring that income as soon as possible and start speaking to us. Right, so the next step, some expenses. I'm not going to run through all the expenses, but I want to run through a lot of expenses that, especially for MyTech business owners, and also the ones that SARS really tend to audit as well. So the very first thing is, the very easy one is telephone. So telephone, generally we would be your Vodacom, Telkom, internet, all those kind of expenses. And we like to at least add back about 5% of that expense as a private use. For instance, when SARS do audit, we can show them that we actually deducted some portion as a private expense against your tax. So, but that's a very easy expense. So the next one is the entertainment. So entertainment, they tend to audit a bit deeper. So in accounting terms, you have a general ledger with all your transactions in that accounting system. Then what SARS these days, the last year, that they require in a tax audit is the detailed ledger. They want the slips, and they also want the list next to that of each and every person that you entertained. So MyTech is very easy because you do entertain a number of potential new clients, associates, and so just make a point of that to keep a logbook of whoever you meet, to match that up with your various expenses. So that's something that SARS really, especially sole proprietors, they zoom a lot into entertainment expenses, especially if it's quite high, which in MyTech's case is quite high. I mean, that's one of your biggest expenses is entertainment, because these days maybe a bit less because you do Zoom and all those kind of meetings. But I mean, still you do meet a lot in person as well.
So just on that, do you perhaps need to, when you get the coffee, do you write, I had a coffee date with Jasper, or how do you keep track of that?
Yeah, you can do it on the slip. or you can just have a separate kind of logbook for yourself, and obviously to keep record of that. But obviously to write it on a slip, it would be is a very good point to actually write on a slip and keep record of that right there and then when you have the coffee or the meal.
So, thank you.
Right, then motor vehicle expenses. That's a very tricky one. When you're a sole proprietor, even though you're a sole proprietor and you don't receive a travel allowance or something like that, when you might be some of the salary earners that's on here now that receive a travel allowance, you can claim back on that travel allowance, obviously with your kilometers and with a logbook. So when you're a sole proprietor, you still need to keep a logbook in the same way that you've done it as for a travel allowance. And it's not that a logbook is not for SaaS purposes, is not really just one that you write in when you throw in fuel and then write it in again when you put in fuel. It's every single trip that you drive every single day. So every day on the logbook, that's what SaaS want to see, is every trip every single day. So it's every day would potentially have 3, 4, 5 trips, and you need to keep that for the whole year, and that will match obviously your business portion to your total. That portion you would be able to claim of your fuel, of your repairs and maintenance, of your depreciation on your vehicle, on your finance charges on your vehicle, license, insurance. So all those kind of expenses you can claim, but to the portion of your logbook of the business portion to the total. But if you don't have a logbook, SaaS will most definitely throw out that claim. That's the first thing they look into, because I know a lot of business owners don't keep a logbook. So you can keep it manually, but most people that I know don't keep a logbook. So there's all kinds of, you can just search electronic logbook on Google. You will get one page full of, I think there's little logbook, little e-logger, all kinds of things. We also have a client, Secure Track, that do have a tracking system, and additional to that, they can also assist you with keeping track of your logbook as well, because I can do the locations on the tracker. So very important. You do drive a lot. Again, maybe not as much as you used to do because of online meetings, and currently because of lockdown. I hope so. But yeah, keep your logbook, very important. Next point, the office expenses. So you have two potential options here. Either you own a property and you have a potential bond, or you rent the property. So when you rent the property, you can again pro rata according to your square meter, the business portion of your square meters of your house that you use exclusively for business purposes, to the total of your whole house. That portion you can deduct as an office expense or you can call it the office rental as an expense. So rental, the cleaner, gardening services, security, all those kind of expenses, maybe electricity, all those kind of expenses you can claim according to the pro rata portion of the business square meters to the total square meters. In the case of a property that you own, you will obviously potentially have a bond, and the rent obviously will not be there, and the interest on the bond, so not the bond payment, but interest on the bond, that portion of the expense you can claim as including all the other various expenses that I've just mentioned. But it's very important to understand that even though you can claim it right now, one day when you sell your house as a primary residence in your own capacity, you have a capital rebate of about 2 million rand that you don't pay tax on the first profit of 2 million rand. But if you do claim annually the office expense or the office rental, that portion will be the 2 million will get less on that pro rata portion that you actually deduct every year on that square meters. So that's important, especially for property owners, to understand that you can claim that right now, but there will be an implication later on in the long term when you sell your house.
So what you're saying is don't sell your house, pay it off, keep working from there, or rent it out.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely. Right, and then lastly, I think that's the biggest one is probably the Manatech products, tools, books, Zoom subscription, all those kind of the books, especially. It's self-development. It's development for yourself. The better you grow, obviously, the better your business will do. That's something that you guys teach as well a lot, and a lot of truth in there as well. So all the books that you spend money on, you will actually be able to deduct. Any other tools that you, I don't know what else is. Normally you guys actually just do books right now, right? There's not really anything else that you
use. There's not functions currently, but I know you also use the functions if you pay with your card at maybe the super regionals for super regional tickets, or CDs, or your success tracker app. All that is included in the self-development.
That's right. So any of those items you can definitely claim, because again, you develop yourself and you better your income, your business, your income. So definitely an expense that you can claim. Then any subscriptions, something like Zoom, maybe Canva that you use potentially for thumbnails or something. All those kind of expenses you can claim in your. Sorry.
I'm just thinking, Jasper, what about Audible, the audiobooks?
That's for sure. Right? That's right. No, for sure. Yeah, obviously this the digital version of books, so it's also deductible. And then the Manatech products. So what we do as a deduction or as an expense in the books, for regarding the Manatech products, obviously a portion of that product you do use personally. Mm-hmm. So we tend to add back about 10 to 20% of the products, and the rest of the expenses we actually claim, and then we just add back 10 to 20% of that as a private use of the products. So I think that was one of the questions as well that you sent through to me. Yes. And that's typically the standard that we use is about 10 to 20% of the expenses. So obviously sometimes some years there's a lot more expenses for various reasons, but generally the rule of thumb is about 10 to 20% that we use.
Okay, awesome.
And then lastly, the other expense that you also tend to have a lot is travel in the sense of tickets, airplane tickets, stayovers, Airbnb, those kind of things. You can also definitely deduct, as obviously you just need to be able to prove that it was for Manatech business. I think that's important, but in your case, your business are spread all over South Africa and beyond, that you can very easily verify any and prove any expense in those cases that can be deducted. So I think that
Jasper, sorry, the Manatech people are so passionate. We know that even if they go on holiday and they speak to the guy at the biltong shop, or they meet somebody in the spa or in the Woolies, they're going to start chatting about Manatech products. So that could potentially also be a business expense when you go for your coffees and you try to explain the business there for somebody.
Yes, it's a very it's a good point actually that you gave about, let's call it Spar or Woolies or any of those grocery shops. What I suggest to our clients is, if you do have a lot of functions at home where you buy from a butchery or from a place like Woolies or Pick n Pay or some place, rather buy everything for a function separately and declare that as being entertainment as well, and purchase your normal groceries that you can't deduct separately from that, so that there's no confusion, and when SARS order there's no confusion about various slips, and you can also prove again you did purchase personal items as well, but now and again you had functions at home and you deducted that specific expenses and that specific purchase you deducted in your tax return.
Yes.
So that's a good point that you raised.
Thank you, Jasper.
Right. So I think is any other expense that's the expenses that I know that I really wanted to cover, because those are the ones that tend to be audited as well. Are there any other expenses that you want me to look at?
No, not that I can think of now. I think you did a very good job going over everything that I can think of now. So yes, I think, you know, most people spend a lot of money on their Manatech products. So it's good to know that, you know, some of it can be deducted. So, you know, you don't have to feel that this is at all an expense. I know, Jasper, that I don't know where I got the information, but average, I don't know if the signal is a little bit unstable again.
Yes,
it looks like the signal is back up. So I don't know, you know, most people say that, or most network marketers say that immediately when you join a network marketing business, especially when you join Manatech, you immediately created 50% more or less tax break for yourself. And I think you did a very good job of explaining how you can deduct stuff like on your electricity or your services on your car or your fuel, you know, as long as you're actually business. You can't just, you know, say I registered as a business builder and now I deduct everything and not build a business. Either is to build a business, when you look at you made money.
Yeah, I think we lost Alet there for a moment. So I think let's see if there's a few other things that I wanted to discuss with you guys. She mentioned, as far as I could understand now, she mentioned a few. The moment you raised your business, and she mentioned something like that. When you're a sole proprietor, you raise it as a sole proprietor, and your registration number is actually just your ID. So you don't register yourself when you start trading your own name. So you start receiving, let's say, part-time income in your own personal capacity. You don't register yourself, you automatically registered already because you have an income tax number. So all your personal income that you receive from various angles, you might receive a salary, you might receive Manatech, you might receive rental income, you might receive interest. If everything is your own personal capacity, everything comes together in your own personal tax return. You only receive additional tax number when you start creating a potential company. And I want to touch on that as well. I'm just not sure if we will have enough time, but I have a video that you can also send to everybody regarding that as well. So a potential next step, but it's a difficult next step. And you can, me and Alet had some discussions on that previously as well. And we managed to get it right for a few of the associates, but it's very difficult, and I'm going to explain to you in a nutshell quickly. So when you receive one income from one income, more than 80% of your income from one person or one company, in your own personal capacity, you can deduct all your expenses. You're seen as an independent contractor, and you can deduct all your various expenses as we explained just now. When you form a company, and your company receives more than 80% of its income from one source, in this case Manatech, it's seen as a personal service provider, or PSP in short, and it's been and the company's been seen as an employee. And the moment the company's been seen as an employee, you can't deduct any expenses in the company. And the only way to overcome that is to employ 3 non-connected parties, non-connected employees in that company. And that's the only way that you can run your Manatech business in a company. The other option is, and I think there was some question, I just want to say, I think from a hairdresser, I think, that asked if she can run the Manatech business together with the hairdresser. And that's a very good example of somebody that can actually go into a company as long as their income from as being a hairdresser or hairdresser income is not less than 80% or less than 20% of the total income of the company. So the combined income between Manatech and the hairdresser can't be more than 80% of the total. Okay. And the reason why I'm focusing a bit on the company is, and the reason why you actually want to create a company and potentially have the shares held by a trust is that everything is outside of your personal estate. So you get a barrier between your personal capacity and your estate. So if something happens to you, nobody can touch your company. So if you have problems before or after death, like a deceased estate, nobody can attach the company. Before a deceased estate, any creditors can't attach that. There is some instances that they can, but in most cases they can't. But you can only do that when you have that three non-connected employees. Mm-hmm. So non-connected is they can't be your husband, your wife, can't be your kids, can't be close family at all. But if you have obviously other income, then it's great. Then we can do that, and that's where you want to go, especially because your Manatech income will potentially grow very fast. Generally, it's a year or two, and then all of a sudden it jumps by big leaps. And by every big leap that the income jumps, the value of the company actually grows as well. And if the shares are in your own capacity, your own balance sheet, the value in your own capacity actually grows as the business grows. And to get that out of that value out of your personal capacity. So let's say you run as a sole proprietor, you start in the part-time capacity, later on you go full-time, and now your income is, let's call it about 60, 80, 100,000 rand a month. Now you have a big value in your business that's accounting terms for a SaaS valuation would be roughly about 3 million rand. So, and then to transfer the shares from a personal capacity to a trust, you will create capital gains tax on 3 million rand in your own name, but you don't receive the money. So you want, if it at all possible, and you have a secondary income as well that you can put into the company, so that you don't have more than 80% of your income from one source, then I would advise to do it as soon as possible and put the trust as a shareholder in that company to have that company grow outside of your estate, and your personal assets and liabilities won't be affected by it.
Awesome.
But that's that's really in a nutshell. And I will also, afterwards, I will actually send a video I've done on that, but actually on a whiteboard on Zoom here, that I've done some pictures on that to explain when you move shares, what will happen.
Yes, I think it can get very complicated, especially for blondes in this business. And Jasper does such a good job of explaining it in detail and over again until we could understand it. So I know there's a lot of people, Jasper, that this is the first time that they become business owners. This is the first time they're earning such big incomes. And I also know that, a while ago you said to us that, there's only so many expenses that you can deduct. And we currently stand on about, I think it's 31 or 32 presidentials in this group already and above. So, I mean, there's a number of people who are at the stage where they're earning somewhere between 30 and 60,000 Rand a month. And now it's becoming a problem. You're only going to have so many expenses. And I remember you gave us very sound suggestions of maybe start looking at buying property, because that creates another tax. I want to say tax expense or a tax deduction. So yeah, we really value that as well for your suggestions, because, you know, most people, this is their first time being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and I think I lost you a bit in the beginning of what I just said, but the problem with Manatech as well, or the problem, well, it's a good problem, is that is that you start off the first year or two, and it goes like any business, it builds up, and then all of a sudden it starts jumping in leaps, and it's not. All of a sudden, it's not a leap of 2,000 Rand or 5,000 Rand. It's all of a sudden it's a leap from 40 to 60. And the leaps actually get bigger as you go along, as you would know. So, and all of a sudden you have business valued at 500,000, and then all of a sudden it's 1 million or 1.5 million Rand worth of a business. So you really want to look at potential structures, but it's important to understand as well, this is general information, and each person, each household, circumstances are different, and you need to evaluate and you need to discuss that with each person on its own to understand what's happening in their life and what streams of income do they have, and from there you can give potential better advice than just throw some ideas up in the air here on Zoom.
Yeah, no, I think that's also, you know, a very valid point, Jasper. Just because, like, I used to be a goldsmith, and, you know, it was before I met you, however. So, but, you know, when you do have another place of employment, or you do have another business, or you do have rental income or passive income coming in, it changes your situation. And that is why a personal relationship with you guys and Dryk Holding is actually so valuable for us, because you make the time to spend with us, to sit with us and ask, you know, what happened, what's new. So really, guys, I can honestly say that, you know, if Jasper can help this blonde, he can help anybody. But
so you breaking up?
I said, do you have a couple of pointers for us left, or suggestions?
I don't see on my list. I think we covered everything. The structure, I'm not going to go into a lot deeper. So I think that's more or less that. And we're almost done. I know we've got about an hour. If there's any other question, I can't really see the questions, but if there's any other questions coming up, maybe you can give about 5 minutes to just to wait if there's any other questions from on your side. In the meantime, if I may, we have a gift pack for entrepreneurs, and part of that gift pack for entrepreneurs is totally free to the value of about 57,000 Rand. And part of that gift pack for entrepreneurs, we have a 3 months free monthly accounting program that you have access to me, and also very important, to my whole team, because I don't do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. I've got a lot of senior people in my office, and during that three months is totally free, and you can actually get 3 months of value spending time with us, discussing your needs and everything, and we can assist you from there. So if there's anybody, I will put the link on a bit later, but it's entrepreneursa.com. Go grab the gift pack there, and we will assist you for absolute free for 3 months. Right. So, are there any other questions that might have popped
Yeah,
out?
I think I see about clothing. Is clothing also deductible?
Clothing is again, it's very debatable. I won't again. I won't. If I'm going to speak for the guys now, but if you want to buy a suit, and that's something you guys do when you go to your what do you call it? But your quarterly meetings, everything. So if you need to
Regional.
buy a suit, yeah, originals. Thank you. When you buy a suit, do it separately and claim the suit. Don't claim each and every Nike, tacky, and every jean, everything that you want, everything that you purchase. But do it selectively. Same with women, wherever you need to wear specifically, claim that. And I know this is one of the guys. He's not a client of mine, but I know him from seeing and speaking to him. Is what's his name? Werner Heineke, I think. He's always wearing his shirts with his Manatech logo on.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, then there's a sure way of showing anybody that you can deduct that, because it's advertising. So it's very selectively, as long as you do it very selectively and not start claiming all your various clothing accounts and clothing purchases, then it's
No, you
fine.
can't do. No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I see here, Jasper, somebody has asked, Shamaine has asked, is M5M donations also deductible? And I think they are, right, because it's a registered non-profit.
What donations is that?
Mission 5 million.
I'm not exactly sure if they do have a PBO number. So the important that they do. So then you can deduct up to 10% of your taxable income. So you can't deduct everything, but in most people would normally can claim all the donations that they do. Obviously, unless it's very excessive, then you won't be able to claim everything. But as long any non-profit organization that do have a PBO number with SARS and can issue a Section 18A certificate, any of those certificates you can claim back. And very additional point to that as well, and it's not really the question, but if you start delivering services to that public benefit organization, so you don't give money to them, but you actually deliver service in kindness, service in some form, and you can add a value to that. So I'm going to use myself as an example. If I start doing accounting for that company on a monthly basis, I charge them 3,000 Rand a month value, in sense of value, but I don't give them the invoice. I give it in kindness and free. Then they can give me a Section 18A certificate for my 3,000 times 12 for the as a deduction in my income tax return. So that's something that not a lot of people do know, but it doesn't have to be money. It can be kindness and value given as well.
Wow, that's a new one. I didn't know about that one. There was also somebody that asked about courier charges. I know that is deductible, right?
Yes.
And buitelandse uitgawes. So if somebody is building their business, for instance, in Namibia, how does the cross-border, or for any other country for that matter, how does the cross-border expenses work? Maybe if they travel there, or that's also deductible, right, Jasper?
Okay, so the first question would be is where are they a resident? If they're a resident in Namibia and they build a business in Namibia, then they will obviously claim everything in Namibia. Yes. If they are South African resident, like do their tax affairs here, and they, according to tax law, are resident in South Africa, and they go frequently to Namibia and have travel expenses, entertainment, those kind of expenses in Namibia, then you will be able to claim it in South Africa. So it's depends on person to person. Some people are resident in South Africa, but they travel to all kinds of places in your case, you have incentives as well. So you travel a lot and then you do entertainment there on the island, there, wherever you are. And and then you can deduct the specific expenses there as well. But then it's obviously just travel related entertainment in a foreign country, and you come back and you go on with your life in South Africa. So it all depends on where you're situated. If you raised in Namibia, they would do all your affairs there. If that,
Okay, I don't know.
that answers it.
Thank you. Yes, Jasper. I don't know if this is a trick question, but Rian asks renovation office. I don't know if it's my office that's being renovated, if it's his office being renovated, but how much of the expenses to your home office can you actually claim?
It's a very gray area. So when you have a home office, like I explained in the beginning, square meters, business portion to total. So when you have a business office at home and you need to just do repairs and maintenance in that portion,
okay,
then you can deduct that as an expense in fully, because that's expense for your business to get yourself ready to do your business there, or just keep it maintained. But if you actually build a separate office or a separate building, a separate room as a study, then it's capitalized to your actual the actual cost of your house, and eventually when you sell the house, you get that as a deduction. You can on the base, you can potentially look into get a portion deduction in depreciation on that portion that, let's say you had about 200,000 rand renovations to get that room built. You get a deduction. I think it's about 16% that you can deduct every year. So that's a very small amount. But the moment you start doing that, there's obviously again tax implications when you sell your home. So be very careful when you do that. I would suggest go to the route of use the route as repairs and maintenance, the portion that you can show SARS and verify to SARS that it's actually repairs and maintenance in that specific portion, deduct that. And then if it's any actual renovations to the property, even though it might be your study, use that to claim against your potential selling of your property in some stage. Are you still there? So, are you still there?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
I just want to maybe ask as well. Somebody asked, is there a very specific vehicle that you can claim on? For instance, I know for farming you're only allowed a single cab bakkie, and so is there a certain specific vehicle that you are allowed, or what is the best vehicle? I know we always joke and say the best vehicle is a paid-off vehicle.
For sure.
But what would you say about the vehicle? Is there any specific make or model?
Okay. So there's actually only a difference when you're looking at vehicles, and that's a question we actually skipped just now that you asked me about the difference between income tax and VAT. So income tax wise, you can use the formula as I've described but earlier in the conversation, depreciation, the portion of the interest on the hire purchase, etc. If you're registered for VAT, and you need to be registered for VAT when your turnover is more than $1 million per annum or 83,000 per average per month, then you need to register for VAT. And luckily, Manatech actually pay the VAT on top of your commission, so you won't lose any commission when you start registering for VAT. Just that you know. But then at that stage, when you buy a vehicle, then you can potentially claim VAT on certain vehicles. And I think that's potentially the question that he's asking. So single cab bakkies, club cab vehicles, a panel van that's been made a panel van when you buy it. You need to be a panel van registered. So that's mostly the items that you would be able to claim VAT on. And obviously, again, the day that you sell it, you need to pay the VAT back on the selling price.
So once again, you need to keep your vehicle because a paid-off vehicle is the best vehicle there is.
Yeah, I like that saying. That's definitely definitely true.
Well, I think this is a very much a trick question, but Leon wants to know, is it possible to sell or donate your Manatech company shares to your registered NPO? He's asking for a friend, he says.
Asking for a friend.
So, yeah, I think
the moment you can donate it, again, it probably depends on the value, because you will donate your value of your shares to the MPO, to your friend. So you can donate 100,000 Rand per year without paying any donations tax. So if the value is less than 100,000 Rand, it's easy. You donate 100,000 Rand and there's no tax. If it's more than 100,000 Rand, so let's say the value is R1 million, then when you do the donation, you will need to pay donations tax on 900,000 Rand. And so if it's a PBO, yeah, you can potentially look at it, but it's, again, you only have a deduction up to 10% of your taxable income, so you won't have a massive deduction. So now Leon can tell his friend.
You go, Leon. Well, I see Rini also asks, maybe this will be our last question, but Rini asks is, if I stay in a small flat and all my home meetings is at venues, I guess it's at Mug and Bean or at wherever you drink your coffee, and that can cost quite a lot. Can I claim that? So yes, I'm sure, Rini, you can claim all your coffee dates, all your lunches, everything that you need to pay in order for you to entertain your guests and make them see the business plan and, you know, taste, smell, and try the products. So all of that is included in the expenses that you can actually claim. Now, Jasper,
I think, sorry, this is very important. And you can claim anything as long as you can prove that it's in production of your income. Yes. Because that is what you need to prove to SARS and explain to SARS. So anything that you claim, and that's something that we do, is anything that we would claim in a tax return is something that I can verify as in a production of income. So again, you guys know we have conversations, we have monthly Zoom calls, and we discuss various options and expenses and run through that. So we can't cover them all, but if there's something that you believe that you can deduct, ask your accountant. If you want to assist you, ask us, but verify if that potentially is possible. But the rule of thumb is anything that you deduct need to be in the production of your income. So if you can verify that, then you can almost 100% be sure that you can claim it.
Awesome. Now, everybody says they're getting great value from this, Jasper. So I basically have
it seems like we lost it a bit again.
Can you still hear me, Jasper?
No,
there we
back,
go.
Yeah? There you go.
Okay. So I still have two questions for you, Jasper, before we let you go. Number one, if somebody is maybe because we have a lot of associates on this group also from different countries. So maybe if somebody is from America or the UK or Australia, would you also be able to help them as you do us? Because I know the tax laws in different countries are a little bit different. So that's the first one.
Okay, so every accountant get registered at in each country, and you get a specific practice number in your country. And unless you write the exam to obviously on that specific country, and you actually start working there, then you can start giving advice in that country. So I might be able to do some books, just books to them for them, but because the tax structure is so much different, I won't be able to do that. And I will also advise somebody to actually rather get one of the Mantec associates in America or Ireland or wherever you are to rather assist you in that specific country, because they obviously understand that the tax laws and everything so much better. So reach out to Mantec associates in your business, in your country, and rather ask them to assist you.
Or maybe just check upline. Maybe your upline has, a number of people in the same country, or maybe they know of somebody that is already, doing some of their business partners books. So thank you, Jasper. I was just wondering about that. And then the last one, Jasper, we are building a very nice room for ourselves, a master bedroom. So, and everybody knows that I work at my best when I'm in the bed. So can I claim a portion of my house, the bedroom side, for my office space? Because, I can prove I work there.
So it's a very easy answer. If you can prove that you work exclusively there, do business.
Okay.
So not sure. then you can claim it. And if you can't prove that, then and you will probably be difficult to prove that. So yeah.
So would photos suffice?
What's that?
Would photos be enough to prove that?
Kimberley is probably a bit far. They probably won't come there, but I won't suggest that.
That's good. You're such a big sport. Thank you very much for entertaining us tonight and educating us in your entertainment. And we really appreciate you. And anybody who would like to make contact with Jasper, we're going to post his details also on here and on the advert that we actually promoted tonight's Zoom call with. And then if you still can't find it, please, we're going to send it out to the upline leaders. Just contact them. And if you would like to make contact with Jasper, remember he has a family, he's going to spend time with them now. Please do it tomorrow morning. He is not a networker. He does not work all hours of the night.
I wake up at 4 a.m, so I can't be available after this.
But Jasper, thank you so much for being here tonight. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure that, there's lots of people that learned lots of new things. And thank you for helping us to make our businesses legit and to pay the appropriate things at the appropriate time. I know the month always goes way too fast for me, and then it's PAYE and VAT every second month. And so thank you for reminding us to do all those things on the right times.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you again for inviting me as well. Thank you from my side as well. And if I can just remind everybody, if you don't mind, it's not really an ad. It's really just giving more value to everybody that's listening in tonight. We do have a gift back for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand. And part of that gift back is a 3 months free monthly accounting services that you can sign up with us. We assist you together with our whole team. My whole team is almost all of them about 10 years with me. So it's all senior staff members with me. And you have access to all of us. for 3 months, and obviously and beyond, but 3 months free of charge, and we get you on the systems, and we assist you to get you going in your network marketing business, and yeah, I mean, it's free of charge, so just to add value.
Absolutely amazing, Jasper. And I promise you, if they are as blonde as I am, it's going to take more than 3 months. But thank you very much for allowing us to really experience quality accounting for free for 3 months.
That's right.
So guys, grab a hold of that. Speak to Jasper. Don't speak to me. I don't know anything about books. I'm gonna also just direct you straight this way. I think it's Jasper, your screen is this way from me, but yeah, I'm just going to direct you to Jasper because he knows what he's doing. And I mean, I literally had a very, very blonde moment this week again. I WhatsApp Jasper frantically, and I said to him, I cannot find the VAT payments on my bank account. And Quentin even looked with me. And one of his amazingly patient ladies said, her name is Dale, she said, okay, I'll just go in with you. I said to her, Dale, I need to do this step by step while I'm on the internet with you to go check if I can find these payments. And they really are of wonderful, wonderful value to us. So thank you again, Jasper. And God bless, and spend the evening with your family in good cheers. Maybe we can have you on maybe next year, maybe sooner. We'll speak and see when we can do this again.
Anytime. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Jan.
Just a quick reminder,
Bye-bye.
grab your gift bag for entrepreneurs in the link below. It's a gift bag for entrepreneurs to the value of 57,000 Rand, free of charge. All you need to do is activate it. Part of that gift bag for entrepreneurs is a voucher of 3 months for 3 months free accounting services from a company, Dryk Holdings. All you need to do is activate the gift bag voucher in the link below, and we will be in contact with you as soon as you've done that.